What's going on, y'all? What it is? So let's go ahead and slide on these topics, and the first thing I want to discuss is North West. So North West was casted as Simba at the Hollywood Bowl for the Lion King's 30th anniversary, and she is catching it online along with her parents Kim and Kanye. And Kim and Kanye, they're catching it the most, but at the end of the day, they're really giving the business to North West because they feel like she didn't really rehearse, she didn't prepare for this part, and basically she lacked the talent. Now, a lot of people also pointed out the fact that there were so many kids that rehearsed for this part that was far more talented than North, and they had their opportunity stripped away because of the privilege of Kim and Kanye West. And most people just seem to be so disgusted and irate, not only at Kim and Kanye, but the producer that made all this happen, that actually pulled the plug on the other kids that were finalists to obtain the role and basically push Kim Dardis to the upper echelon and give her the part ultimately, right? So I want to play some clips for you guys, and I'm going to start off with someone that worked closely to the situation. He was an assistant, and then you'll see some other reactions to North West, basically what they call botching the actual role of playing Simba. So sit tight and I'll be right back.
I was a casting assistant for the Lion King 30th anniversary at the Hollywood Bowl, and I did not sign an NDA, so this is what happened. Although the show was aired last week, we started holding auditions for this about 4 months ago virtually, and so people were sending nationwide their auditions for their children. About a month and a half ago, we got it down to 4 kids. It was 3 girls and 1 boy up for the role of Simba. Again, I was just an assistant, so I was just there for the paperwork. There was actual people that were doing the actual casting themselves, but I got to see everyone's audition. Everyone was there for their 4th round, and everyone did a great job. When all of a sudden the executive producer comes into the room, he says, "We have one more person we'd like to add." So then everyone walked out of the room, and Kim Kardashian and North West entered. So North did her audition. Her audition song was "Animal Crackers in My Soup" by Shirley Temple. She didn't bring sheet music, which seems unprofessional, but given that it's Kim Kardashian and North West, it seemed practical. So Kim was there, and she started beatboxing "Animal Crackers in My Soup." But then a couple of notes in, the director stopped her and he's like, we've seen all we need to see. Kim Kardashian threw a couple $100 at us and she said, "Did you see all you need to see?" So then we're like, okay, you can sing 8 more notes. So she sang 8 more notes. We stopped her. We're like, "We've seen all we need to see." Then Kim Kardashian brings in Gypsy Rose Blanchard into the room. Gypsy Rose is pretending to be the manager for North West, but we all know it's Gypsy Rose. And so she looks at us and goes,
My client, North West, she'll kill at this role.
and then she looked at us because we felt the threat too. And we're like, oh my God, yeah.
So you're gonna give her the job, okay?
And so pretty much right then and there, we signed the contract. We sent the other 4 contestants home, and we knew it was going to be something a little bit crazy. And so we're like, okay, well, rehearsal start next week.
My client is offer only. My client doesn't rehearse.
And so that's kind of why it came out the way it did. But I think overall, the rest of the cast really made up for it. So everyone needs to go a little bit easier on her. She auditioned just like everybody else. It was just a little bit different.
Kim Kardashian has definitely seen all the comments, knows all the backlash about Northie playing Simba in the Lion King concert. Now, Kim posted 6 pictures of North on this post. Let's check out the comments because I want to hear what you guys think. Chloe here, Auntie Chloe saying, "I love you, Northie," with the lion emoji. What do you guys think about this comment right underneath it? It says, "Why are adults hating on a kid? You guys seriously need to check yourselves." This one right here says, "Dad's ego with mom's talent." Sierra is also in the comments, and she posted a bunch of yellow heart emojis. Kimora Lee Simmons posted, "We love you, Northie," with heart emoji. And Natalie and Olivia both are Kim's friends, and they commented, "Go North," as well as "So proud of you, Northie." But what do you guys think about Kim Kardashian's post? Was this intentional? Do you guys think she's reading all the comments and tuning into the backlash? Let me know what you guys think.
I don't care what nobody say. I know Kanye had something to do with this little bullshit ass outfit. I know it. There ain't no way he did not. This got Kanye name written all over it. Look at it. Ain't not no way that them tickets was running for almost $3,000 and they was gonna have Simba up in this. I know Kanye had something to do with it. But then that's strike number 1, okay? We got a plethora of them. Strike number 2 is y'all knew that she wasn't ready for this stage, okay? And now this baby is getting all this goddamn criticism because y'all wanted to float your money around there, and now she will forever be embarrassed by this fucking performance. I don't care what nobody say about that. I know she gonna be embarrassed because when she watch this back, when she get older, she gonna be like, why the hell they put me up there? Did she even go to any daggone rehearsals? Because that little zebra kept guiding her throughout the whole entire thing. That poor baby ain't even know when to exit the stage. The zebra was like, come on. She ain't listen to her. Then the other zebra had to step in and say, come on. It must seem like a trend nowadays because this show seemed like what I seen a couple few months back at that goddamn game when that baby sung that national anthem. In case y'all don't remember. Like, I get it. You want little Northy and little Susie Q to be able to sing and perform. But they gotta start smaller first or something. Like, you put them on these big platforms and then the world is criticizing them. And then it cannot be the world that you get mad at because you've already been criticized enough in y'all's adult livelihoods to know how the damn world is. And then to subject your daughter to that? Are you kidding me?
As a music teacher and someone who's been involved in the production, education, and audition side of children's musical theater, I have some opinions about Kim Kardashian's kid performing Simba at the Hollywood Bowl. Before I say anything else, I want to be clear, I do not blame North West. This child had nothing to do with this decision, and she may have been dragged through this process all the way through. We all know that this is her parents' fault, and it is the casting director's fault. Nepo babies and stunt casting is nothing new in the entertainment industry, but I think as far as musical theater goes, especially for children, we're talking about a different animal. Certain things need to be held to a higher standard for a few reasons. Her parents and that casting director threw her to the wolves without any training at all, and they knew that. They knew that this child had no vocal training, no stage training, no musical theater training, and they made the decision to put her on stage anyway. As far as the casting director goes, I have to say, how dare they make this decision, whether it was a stunt cast or not. That decision affected every other singer in that performance as well. When you're talking about ensemble casting, everyone has to be on point, which is why the audition process is so important in musical theater. It's not that we don't want people that already have name recognition on the stage, but when you put someone on stage that doesn't know what they're doing, can't keep a steady beat, can't sing in tune, that affects the entire ensemble. I wouldn't necessarily have so much of an issue with that if this ensemble were entirely adults. We're talking about something that had more than one child in the cast. If you have the lead singer going up there and singing garbage, it is going to throw off every single other kid on stage. We see Nepo babies less in musical theater because it takes a certain level of training to do what you need to do on stage to be successful. It's really hard to skirt by because there are certain vocal qualities that you have to meet. There are certain techniques that you have to use on stage that are pretty standard across the board, regardless of what show you're talking about or what vocal style you use. Popular music, it's something that you can maybe get away with because you have a unique sound. My problem with Kim Kardashian and the producers of the show is that they never gave that child a chance to get to that level. I know that there were dozens of kids that auditioned to perform that number and perform Simba. It's not necessarily that the right kid gets that role every single time because there's always going to be some level of subjectivity, but there has to be a level of credibility to the audition process in musical theater. In order for a child to be ultimately successful in musical theater, they have to start training as early as possible on stage presence, dancing, singing, voice technique. And when you throw a child into an audition and they see that the kid that didn't even audition, that didn't even sing the number, got the role, it kills all incentive for them to ever try that process again. Those children leave believing that there's no point in trying anymore. And I have a huge problem with that. It's going to affect the kids that didn't get that part. It's also going to affect Northwest. She is going to grow up believing that she doesn't have to put in that level of work to be successful at musical theater. And I feel sorry for her. When she gets to be a few years older and she may decide she wants to pursue the stage on Broadway, she may not have the chops for it. And I don't think at that point she's going to get the parts that she wants, and she's going to be very confused about why that's not happening for her. Yes, there's stunt casting, but stunt casting usually happens with adults. And even a stunt cast happens when that person is already famous for performing and being on stage. Whether or not they're a singer or not, that kind of plays into it. And it's obvious that this child has never had any stage training at all. I'm pissed at her parents. I'm pissed at Kim Kardashian and everyone else involved in that camp for not even taking a second thought to think that maybe that child wanted to be in music lessons. Maybe she wanted a vocal coach. Maybe she wanted to be better than that performance. But they didn't take 1 second to think about the fact that that could even be a possibility. They have all the money in the world and they don't want to pay 1 red cent to hire somebody to see where their baby can go. They took the shortcut. That child will suffer in the end because of it. Is she going to suffer in life? Is she not going to be able to do whatever she wants to do because she has access to money and power? Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that child has an elevated sense of what she's able to do on a Broadway stage, and it's different than acting in film. It's different than acting on TV if you're a Nepo baby. It's different than being an adult stunt casting. This kid has had every bad decision thrusted upon them to get to this point. But above all, I feel embarrassed for that casting director for that show, because as somebody who should prioritize a good performance and the experience of the rest of their cast and those children involved, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Let's talk about North West screaming the part of Simba at the Hollywood Bowl. In her debut performance with cast, Jennifer Hudson sang at this, right? Cast members that return. It was the 30th anniversary of The Lion King, and everybody was there, all the headliners. And again, Jennifer Hudson was there. And you had Kim and Kanye's child up screaming the role of Simba. And the argument that a lot of people say is, well, she's just 10 and she was nervous and okay, some people paid $3,000 to $4,000 for tickets for this show. And if I'm paying $3,000 to $4,000 for a ticket, I want the show to be finished. I don't want children up there who are nervous. I don't want children up there who are scared to perform, because let's just say this. Let's say she was scared and she was nervous. Then why is she up on the stage? Is this going to be another thing where she gets older and she's going to be, they made me get up on that stage to sing The Lion King, when there are child performers that have been groomed for that part since birth, that want to be up on that stage. And when people talk about kids being nervous, even like when you talk about Beyonce and Blue Ivy, well, at the first concert she was nervous and she was this is a concert and I'm paying $1,500 for a ticket. I don't want to see nervous kids up on the stage. I want to see child performers that are excited to be up there, because there's a big difference between being nervous and being excited. And I can tell you from having a performing arts school that the kids who are performers, they are excited to get on stage. They're anxious for everybody to see and hear them. They're not, oh, I'm scared to get up there to sing. Those are kids who don't need to be up on the stage, because those are the ones that grow up and say, my parents made me get up on the stage. And I can guarantee y'all, I guarantee you, 10 years from now, she's going to have a whole book out about how her parents made her get up there and sing Simba. And there are kids that were auditioning for it all over the country wanting to sing it. Now, it was an insult to have that child up there. You know, it was an insult. It was an insult to all the performers that are there and all child actors that have ever sang that role. And to have the original Simba get up and introduce her to try to, I guess, cut down on any of the boos. To have him to get up and say, well, you know, I played the role when I was 12. Yeah, but you can still sing it because we want to hear how you sound now. I would have loved for him to sing it. Here's what they should have done. They should have had him to sing and had all of the children that play Simba or who have played Simba in the major productions on Broadway and around the world to come and join him, including the young new cast members to come that are playing that role to come and perform it. But to have that little girl walking on stage doing her hands, like, this is the typical sign of a kid who doesn't have any type of training. And they can afford to put her in a performing arts school. They're in Los Angeles. They could put her in Debbie Allen Dance Academy. That's the best academy that there is. And she's right there. But I'm sure she's too spoiled to go. And this is her acting, is to do this. And can't even walk to the beat of the music. You could tell she'd never had a dance class in her life. Or at least one where she was instructed to listen to the instructor instead of her parents coming in and saying she can do whatever she wants to do.
Alright, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, I decided not to play the clips of people going at North West specifically. I don't think that she deserves that. She's a child, but you have some adults that are very immature themselves and they decided to go at her, and I just think it's despicable on all levels. Now, I do think that Kim and Ye set her up for failure by using their privilege to get her a role that she clearly did not deserve and that she clearly was not prepared for. And I really don't think that she will be able to live this down. You know, because she is a Kardashian West, people are going to remind her of this awful performance, and people are petty. They're going to start singing the line, I can't wait, you know, just giving it to her, giving her the business every time you turn around, just because they have a disdain for her parents. And she really doesn't deserve that, but this is the predicament that her parents put her in. Now, I did see a crazy meme out there that's floating around pertaining to North's performance, and it basically said if there was ever a time Kanye Kanye West needed to go on stage and take the mic, the time was now. And people are taking that and running with it and making skits on TikTok. It's hella funny. I encourage you guys to go to TikTok and look it up. Now, I do believe that Kanye was behind the outfit that North wore on stage, because this is the outfit that she was supposed to wear, but they put her in this, like, it looks like a hoodie with some fur around the hood part. It's just atrocious in my opinion, and it's a shame that she had to go through that. But anyway, I want to get to this Diddy news real quick, because there's a report that just came out that is stating that 50 individuals that had some type of ties to Diddy back in the days, whether they were friends or just acquaintances, they're now speaking about Diddy's criminal history to the feds. And also a guy by the name of Ryan Dawson speaks out about Diddy, and he says some pretty interesting things. So sit back and watch these couple of clips, and then I'll be back to close the video.
Okay, this Diddy story keeps developing. According to Rolling Stone, they launched a 6-month investigation talking to 50 of Diddy's closest friends. These 50 close friends and former associates have allegedly agreed to speak out against Diddy in some capacity. Many of them have declined to reveal their identities, but the allegations made by the group paint a story of raging abuse dating all the way back to the 90s. The report alleges that after leaving Howard University in 1990, after becoming a mini celeb, Diddy still roamed the campus, where his girlfriend at the time was still attending. To make a long story short, friends of the girlfriend recall allegedly seeing Diddy beat the girlfriend with a belt in front of their dorm after she refused to come down and speak with him. She was trying to defend herself a little bit. She was crying, and we were telling him, get off of her. We were screaming for her. Sources say Diddy would go on to gain huge success with Bad Boy Records. Some of his former employees allege that he would fire anyone on a whim and often displayed violent behavior towards anyone who crossed him. A source claims that shortly before rapper Biggie's death, the rapper had plans to leave Puffy and sue for all rights to the publishing of his songs. Combs told Biggie's lawyers, "I will never give it up until I'm dead and my bones are crushed into powder." Sources also claim when Rolling Stone approached Diddy about a magazine cover opportunity for Biggie a few months after his death, Diddy responded, "No, he's dead. I'm putting out his upcoming album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone." This report details many allegations of abuse and misconduct against Diddy, and several women allege that he has either tried or has successfully abused them and filmed the encounters as trophies to show to other people. Law enforcement who helped lock up R. Kelly have told the outlet that witnesses have agreed to cooperate. Could this be some of the videos they may have found in Diddy's house? It seems like there's a lot more behind all of these allegations against him, and it seems like there's more to come. Let me know your thoughts.
But unlike Epstein, the FBI didn't come in and grab all the tapes and sit on them. The DHS hid his properties in Miami and in California. And so they got him pretty good. And it goes deep. And it's Meek Mills. It's a whole bunch of other men in the industry who are involved in this ring. I have a co-host, we call him Pug, we'll just say, told me about this 7 years ago. We have an insider, I don't want to say his name either. But this has been known. The nickname was the Gay Black Satan Club. And you can hear a little bit on the acting side, similar situation with the casting couch, people like Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, others talking about why are these guys wearing dresses? It's a humiliation ritual, this sort of thing. Well, it got a lot worse than wearing a dress or getting popped in the eye. It got a lot worse. Clapping the cheeks worse. And P. Diddy was right there under Sumner Redstone, who's now dead.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that, and it's not surprising that the celebrities that are working with the authorities don't want their name disclosed, because I believe some of them have some incriminating evidence that Diddy had in their possession. And I believe that when the feds raided Diddy's homes, they basically came across those celebrities that were caught in compromising positions, and now they're singing like a canary. Now, as far as Ryan Dawson saying that there is a such thing called a Black Gay Satan Club, I absolutely believe that. I believe that there's a lot of people that are are incorporated within that particular organization, and they were set to be exposed. Just like I said, I believe a lot of people were caught on tape doing some crazy things, and the feds have that information. I believe everything that Ryan Dawson is saying in regards to that. Diddy, of course, is a part of that. He mentioned Meek Mill, and he said that the rabbit hole goes deep. And I just can't wait until Ryan expounds a little bit further on this particular topic. Now, I know he's nervous from conversations and things of that nature to really go in like that, but Ryan mentioned a very powerful person who passed away in 2020. He passed away during the pandemic, and his name was Sumner Redstone. Now, for those of you who don't know who Sumner was, he was a very powerful man. He controlled Viacom, Paramount Pictures, movie theater chain National Amusements, CBS, MTV, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and the publisher Simon & Schuster. And so basically he had a lot of power, a lot of authority. And according to Ryan, Diddy was right up under him. And so when you look at everything in its totality, Diddy aligned himself with some powerful YT men. And it was a gift and a curse, because you get the gift of being around these powerful people and getting the nod to make certain moves and things like that. But it also is a curse, because now you've ingratiated yourself with these certain individuals and you're starting to learn how they move. You've probably been in a room where they were violating men and women and things of that nature. So you have vital information about these top executives. And because Diddy associated himself with some powerful people that, hey, we got to keep it honest, they accepted him in the club, right? It made him feel like he was invincible. So he started to act as if that he couldn't be touched. He started violating men and women himself and doing all sorts of outrageous things, and he created a paper trail on himself, not knowing that that paper trail that he created will come back to bite him in the ass one day. Now let me make myself clear, Diddy was already wilding before he got into the room with these certain execs, but when he did get in the room, he started pushing the envelope because he became or felt that he was untouchable. And so now what they're doing is showing you where the privilege is, and that the privilege has always been in their favor. And the reason why I keep mentioning privilege, y'all, is based off of the fact that I do believe that Diddy needs to pay for everything that he has done to violate any human being that he's came across. But at the end of the day, I do believe that the reason why we're seeing all this back-to-back action coming his way is because they're trying to cover up a slew of heinous crimes that were committed by YT elites. I do believe that. Because I believe that Diddy holds a lot of information about that. And I also believe that maybe they've obtained a lot of footage on Diddy or about some of the things that Diddy has done in his past, but I don't think that the feds got what they were looking for. And I believe that Diddy was smart enough to outsmart them. I don't think that Diddy would have a lot of incriminating evidence at his crib about these politicians, about Hollywood elites. I don't believe that he would have that at his homes. I don't think that they have the information that the feds sought out to get. I really don't. And that's why they released the tape of him getting into it with Cassie at the hotel. And it just seems as though that they're changing the avenue that they're taking to get him, because they don't have anything else to go off of. I'm not saying that they don't have anything, but I'm saying that it's not exactly what they were looking for. Now, as far as this Sumner Redstone character, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on him, but from what I read, a lot of people didn't like him and very few people showed up to his funeral, and he also dated his grandson's girlfriend. And so what that reminds you of, Diddy going behind Justin to date Lori Harvey. I mean, it just seems like they move the same within that Hollywood realm. But anyway, this has been too long of a video. I could go on and on and on. So I want to cut it right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.